Well, what's up, guys? Welcome to Totirap. Today we're talking about this unknown musician, Elvis.
And the movie they made about him.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought he was just a minister.
Minister of rock and roll.
Yeah.
That's Lenny
he was that
Kravitz.
eccentric guy in Vegas
Oh,
that marries people.
that's crazy. He's still like, because when's this movie take place? What was like the years? Do you remember?
Many years.
Between 50s into the 70s.
So he's like 100 some odd years old, and he still looks pretty good when you see him.
Botox. It's a hell of a
Yeah.
thing.
I thought he can't do it anymore.
True. He can't marry people.
But he still might be there, just chilling around.
You'll see him on the
So,
street.
You see a lot of it. It's interesting because you'll see him, you walk a little farther,
And he's
and
there
then he's
again.
there again.
Dude, Elvis is like God. He's everywhere.
All
All
at
at
once.
once.
Remember the conspiracy theory that he really wasn't dead and he's chilling on some island somewhere?
Oh, I remember.
Oh, he's
the
for
other-
sure dead by now.
Oh, obviously, but that was the... I mean, when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
right, that was the prevailing theory because that was only like 15 years
Yeah.
after his death.
He was chilling with what? What's his?
He's chilling with Tupac.
Yeah.
Another
I
one-
was gonna say Fidel Castro for some
Oh my god, it's the opposite what he would want. No, because I remember the other one I heard was he was, because you know how he went to war,
Yeah.
that he became a spy for the government, so they faked his death. So he could become a full-fledged
Oh, okay,
spy
that's
because he was so good at
That's
his job.
that's almost as great as the Paul McCartney switcheroo. If you've heard that conspiracy theory.
That's true.
the Paul McCartney switcheroo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard that
So
one?
he's not dead.
No, well, Paul McCartney's still alive, right? But the idea is that he
Right.
died like ages ago and he's been replaced. So the guy we know now is Paul McCartney. He's not the real Paul
Yeah.
McCartney.
It's like, what's her name too? Ava Levine.
Avril Lavigne.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that she's dead, and there's that new girl that
she
took
got
over her
replaced.
place.
Conspiracies, dude.
Wow.
Musical conspiracy theories.
Welcome to our conspiracy podcast.
I knew Elvis would bring it out. It would have to be Elvis.
So you know what I also heard? That Elvis isn't actually Elvis. He came from another planet, and that's what happened when Area 51 is Elvis became a thing.
When was Roswell?
I heard that Elvis wasn't really white.
What is
What?
he?
Just kidding. I just
When?
heard the stupid scene in the movie. He's white.
Oh, when
He's white.
they learned that he was singing the music, they're like, oh, interesting. I'm like, I'm kind of happy, dude.
I mean, Roswell was in 1947.
So he landed.
When was Elvis born?
We're making our own conspiracy theory here. Perfect.
Fuck, it's too soon. Wait, but maybe
What?
because he was replaced because he's born in 1935, right?
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So he would have been what?
15?
7.
No, he would have been he would have been like 12.
1947?
Yeah.
12.
He would have been 12. So the scene at the beginning of the movie, Roswell happens, right? And he's replaced. Even
So
though
he is still
No,
alive.
no.
Because aliens live longer, right?
Sure. Actually, that makes no sense because
No,
Roswell
no,
was in
no.
New Mexico, and then this took place in
Nah,
Tennessee.
nah.
But
Shut
This,
up.
this is like Superman, you know,
Yeah.
when like something crashes, they find a baby inside,
Yeah.
and they have to fake a birth certificate, all to make it real. They're like, yeah, he was born in 1935 or whatever the fuck.
it's true. No one really knows anything before that.
That's true.
Before he's famous, does he really exist? Well, I don't know.
So are you telling me he's an alien? That's why he has the best voice.
That's why he wiggles so much, dude.
The
He's like trying to
thrusting.
communicate.
Yeah, he was like, hey, I've come in peace.
Sure he does.
He does. He just wanted the thrust
Uh-huh.
everywhere,
You tell me.
constantly.
You tell me Tom Parker was the hero we all needed to stop this monster?
Yes, yeah. Well, stealing all his money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What a fucking asshole.
Well, fucking hell. Fuck you.
I watched this movie.
So-
I'm like, is this an Elvis movie or am I learning about this asshole?
No, you're learning about this asshole. I swear to God, I watched this movie and at the end I'm just like, fuck this guy. I was so upset.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Because this is what it was reminding me of when I was watching it. The story of Muhammad Ali.
who fucked him?
Because it's the same thing. His manager, because Muhammad Ali was illiterate.
Damn.
So his manager fucked him hard and he died broke.
Yep.
Fuck you.
Can't wait to watch that movie next.
Go back and watch Ali. That's a really good movie.
It is.
Ali's a very good movie. I would say it's probably one of Will Smith's best performances.
Well, you sure? I saw some really good performances in the past few years.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
Sure.
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 No, but, dude, this contract's so fucked. Like, because at the end of the movie, spoilers, obviously it's about his life.
Elvis
Yeah.
dies, yeah.
Wait, I didn't get that far.
Spoilers.
But when he's like, I want to leave the country to,
Yeah.
I go have fun. He's like, yeah, it'll be like $8 million or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? How much money is this guy making? And you're saying that he owes you money. Blows my mind.
Security, I gotta give you security. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Okay, so this movie, right? We're
Okay.
gonna talk about this movie. What did you guys like about this movie?
I like the main
Music.
character.
Which one, Elvis? Say the asshole.
Austin Butler.
Austin Butler
He's
is
really good Elvis.
he's a very good Elvis.
Like, I think this is probably my favorite scene. It was when he first
first
goes
one?
on stage with his pink
His
outfit.
pink suit. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And everyone's like,
badass.
get off the stage, you
Fucking
loser.
pansy.
Yeah.
Cut your hair.
And he starts singing, you're like, yeah, fuck you. Thrust in your face.
What I thought was weird about that scene is
Mister, I'ma steal your girl.
that he did though. It's like all the girls are like just like getting fidgety and shit.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck?
They wanted the fuck.
I guess.
What's
I just thought
what's
that was
funny?
weird.
But if you see concerts from that time period, that's what it became. Same with like if you ever see any
Beatles.
Beatles concerts, Beatlemania was fucking wild.
Dude, the music makes him horny or some shit or what?
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, if you think about like when Elvis goes in, right? Because this is right after World War II. This is like peak super conservative America, right?
Damn baby boomers.
Yeah, that's where they come from, right? I mean, this is like the peak. This is anytime everyone in the modern day says they want to go back to a better time, it's because they want to go back to the 50s.
Yeah.
When white people say I want a better America, it's because they want to go back to the 50s.
No one
For
else
them.
had rights. Fuck those
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, exactly. So
White power.
yeah, exactly. So and that's where Elvis comes in at, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny when you see things like this because and you see like what he did and how that changed the music scene. My favorite is the criticism from people before him that did the exact same thing in their time. When he was big, I remember Frank Sinatra did his whole thing where he's like, "Oh, Elvis is doing all this bullshit." It's like, fucker, you came up in the 20s. Fuck you.
He's big brain in it, though.
or like those jazz people. It's like you guys played in brothels. I don't know. I want you coming at me with this bullshit. Jazz was born in the red light district of New Orleans.
Well, if you get through time, that's how like most of the music really has been stolen basically out of that time period.
Oh, of course. Or what's controversial, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I do enjoy the way this movie kind of. I mean, it flew past Elvis's life, obviously.
Oh my god.
At
Pays
at
on that fucking movie.
at blazing speed, right?
Yeah, but it's still 3 hours.
know.
Basically.
Well, it could be worse. It's like, do you guys ever watch? Oh no, probably I'm not the only one. There's like a Temptations miniseries.
Who?
It's like 4 hours.
Is there a group?
Oh wait, are they?
Yeah, they tempt you.
God damn it.
Damn.
But like that's like 4 hours, and usually like some of these biopics are fucking long as shit, dude.
This one was long, though. It was just like,
But
for
this
how
one-
much they shoved in your face,
This
too.
one felt like it dragged.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Did it?
To me, it did. I'm just like, bro, just fucking end the movie. God damn.
See, I didn't feel like that. I just felt like, because normally, if I'm watching something like this, there's a lot of moments where I can just kind of like fast forward a bit and be like, who cares about this? The only times I did that, I think, was like kind of more of the musical stuff, because I've listened to his music hundreds of times. So it's just like, I want to just hear the plot because I want to shrink this 3 hour movie to like, 2.5 maybe.
Yeah.
But I felt like I couldn't skip anything because it was all pretty much important. It was so much of his life and so much he got fucked over, or
It's just wild.
Yeah.
It's a very similar story, obviously, to any person that comes from nothing and then is just big boom. Especially in I would say in the time period where that's even more amplified, just because it's new. It's this whole new thing. And I do like the flashiness of the movie. This is very much a Baz Luhrmann film. all of his movies are this fucking flashy and bombastic and saturated in color and all that. It's just the way his movies are.
I think my favorite like colorful scene was when he was the kid and he goes into the
Into like the Baptist.
yeah.
Yeah.
I literally liked the color they did for that, and I just like that scene in general.
It's a good scene.
It was very interesting how they portrayed it.
I didn't like the soundtrack.
No, like Elvis.
I didn't
music?
like. I didn't really care for the non-Elvis music.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you
Anything
mean?
besides, yeah. I
Okay.
feel like it just kind of didn't quite fit the scene where they put him in. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
You know what it reminds me of?
Who?
Not necessarily who.
Oh, what?
Where?
The remake of The Great Gatsby, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah.
where all the music is like modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated that shit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, and I understand why they did it in that movie
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be symbolic of the excesses of today, just back then.
Yeah.
But in this movie, I'm like, why? I mean, that time period is such a good soundtrack in general. It's like you could have just kept it there. Like everything that was from that time period, I'm like, this is good. I like this.
Eddie's that guy. He's like, I wish I was back in the 50s.
I don't. I don't at all.
Yes, you do.
No,
know
I
you-
don't.
I see all the shit you collect. You're like, this is peak era of life.
If I was white, maybe. But as I am now, definitely not.
Why not?
I'm good.
I'm good, dude. I'm good.
Crazy.
And it's funny. I mean, obviously that's like a topic the movie touches on a little bit, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
you have to, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can't talk about this time period and all this, and even like Elvis's like musical influences without talking about everything like that era, the civil rights movement and all that stuff. It's just impossible to do it.
Well, the guy from this movie, Tom Parker's a dick.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
He barely made money. He looked like he was in debt too.
It's a different world back then.
I guess.
I mean, I would say
Fuck.
it's a pretty similar world still.
I don't know, man. He's like, I don't exist, but yeah, I make all this fucking money somehow.
Yeah, because he's a grifter. He took advantage. I mean, it's not like people don't get scammed nowadays, right? Because that's kind of what he is at that time.
He's a scammer.
And even coming up through like 70s, 80s, and whatever's, it's not like there's not more stories of upcoming artists that came from poverty being royally fucked over by managers or the record system in general, because it's easy,
it's true.
and it's not like it's just in that industry either. It's in so many others.
No. What are you talking about?
No
the world
way.
outside is great. That's why we stay inside. Not look out there.
I mean, that's and that I to a certain degree that is the tragedy of Elvis, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, he did a lot of super sketchy things.
Of
Obviously,
course.
and the movie does kind of shy away from what us in modern day would say the real sketchiness that he did.
They just kind of just brush upon it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's funny because it's really easy to focus on the drugs and everything, and that's a little sketchy. But the guy kind of he did what every artist did at that time period, right?
Sing?
Sure, yeah,
Perform. Make money. Yeah.
Yep,
He wasn't
that's-
making money. I saw the debt at the end. He wasn't making anything, it seems.
So, yeah.
Somehow the dude was like, yeah, so how much do we get paid to perform here, like for 6 weeks straight?
I think you owe me $2,000. What?
Because I know one of the largest criticisms of this movie are obviously the skipping over of the pedophilic nature of artists and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Because that's always one of the biggest things that I know that was one of the biggest things that people bashed on this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They're releasing that real Elvis.
because it's the idea of like, because it glances over the whole Priscilla thing because she was like 14.
He was 14, yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of fucked because he was like 24. And that's not the only occasion where that's a thing, right?
I'd argue a lot. For some reason, that might be just all fucking artists of that time period.
Well,
All
yeah,
have
I
that,
mean,
like weird.
It doesn't make it any less fucked up.
No. Yeah.
But it is
I'd argue this is more just trying to show him more in the spotlight
obviously.
and show more what happened, even how popular he was, how fucked he got from.
Of course,
just the basic.
And I mean that's the thing. It's like to a certain degree, it's never enough.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I can understand where some people don't want certain people glorified for things they did.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to talk about these people at the same time with that, and it's impossible now because obviously, no one wants a defamation case on their lap and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that would be like the only thing I know was like a really big thing on here because everything else, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. The drugs and everything was
dude.
Yeah.
That man was more drugs and alcohol than he was human.
It's like one of the bigger criticisms of Bohemian Rhapsody, right? Was the idea it's like it wasn't enough. He was more fucked. It should have shown him more fucked.
Yeah, but it'd be like what's the thing you write when someone dies?
An obituary.
Obituary, and you just write all the fuck things about him because everyone wants to know. To me, these movies are trying to make you shine as bright as you can without going too dark.
Which I can understand because that's also a criticism of biopics in general, right? That everything's always so rose tinted.
Yeah,
and everyone's like. Because we're all cynics in the modern day. We're all like, no, I want to see the fucked up side of everybody.
Where's the
real? I want to see the real fucked up shit.
Yeah, but you're also. But I feel like most of these you're here to watch, like have motivation. Be like, if he could do it, maybe I could.
If he could get fucked, I could as well, right?
if he could get scared, so can I.
But I mean I can understand that like very clean, I guess, like criticism of biopics in general, which is one of the reasons why I do like Rocket Man a lot. Because for a movie,
my fave biopic.
For a movie where even Elton John's like, go for it. Just fucking, I fucked up. I know I fucked up.
Elton John never fucked up. What are you talking about?
We're gonna make this movie show it, and I think that's glorious. And Rocket Man is amazing. But and I don't think for me this hits quite that place.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the movie.
Oh, I had a lot of fun with this movie.
I enjoyed it. I felt like it dragged out a little bit towards the end.
Yeah,
but I think it was just kind of that pace affected me how I enjoyed the movie. It's kind of just like pa 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 pa,
and then hyper focused on the end of his life.
Yeah, and you're just like, bro, just if I can get over with.
You know what? You know what's interesting? I mean, I learned stuff from this film because I mean, Elvis and his music and stuff.
I know, go to war,
and you understand, huh?
I didn't know he went to like Germany, like a soldier or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but it's like in the 50s, 60s, so at least
it
could have been worse. He could have gone to like Korea.
Yeah.
Oof.
Or no, he would have been too old for Nam. But
they basically sent him there as like, you
go and reform.
Yeah, basically you got to reform, but we don't want you to die.
And it's funny because by the time he comes back, I mean the Rolling Stones become big, and it's not like Mick Jagger was any different than Elvis, right?
I think time changed within that small gap he was gone for. So he basically, it wasn't normal still, but it was becoming more norm.
I never knew how he ended up in Vegas. That was something I learned because I always knew that he ended up in Vegas as a residency. I just never knew how that came about. It was just one of those things like I knew he was there.
Scammed.
Well, yeah. I knew he was there because there's only like bits and pieces of like Elvis's life that I would just know in general.
I didn't know he made movies.
You didn't?
I knew
No.
Oh.
This man did everything he could.
Shit.
He's just like,
and he's still broke.
I don't know if it's like he broke or he just got scammed.
They're still broke at the end.
He got.
Fuck.
I do want to know the numbers, like at the end of the case, that how much his
how much reparation they got from.
Because I'm gonna guess a shit ton of money.
I'm not gonna lie, I hated Tom Hanks's accent in this movie.
Same. I just hate his character.
Well, so here's the thing: I can hate a character, and I understand that's the point of his character.
Yeah,
is to be kind of hated. No matter what he says is unreliable narrator, I don't give a shit. Yeah. I mean, what he did is horrible. And I can understand that. But God, that accent was annoying.
Yeah. Because besides him fucking Elvis, he also fucked, what's it called? The famous country singers in the beginning.
Oh, those other people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're famous.
I don't remember.
I don't like country.
I don't
Fuck
know.
you, country fans.
I don't fucking know country music.
Yeah, nor do I. It's just a garbage
Adding rhythm and blues was the best thing to happen to country music because it turned into rock instead.
But-
You know what this movie taught me too at the beginning?
What's that?
Country has always been bland and boring as fuck.
I agree with that. I also didn't realize how he came up either. I didn't know he came up from basically that nothing.
Oh no, I knew that.
Like I knew he came up. I thought he came up from middle.
No.
I didn't think he came up from like.
He came from the bottom,
Yeah.
which is where his influences come from. Because if he started middle class, those influences that he got in his music wouldn't have been there.
Which makes sense.
Because that's the thing when you think about America in that time period. Even if there's a racial divide, when you're both when everyone's at rock bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a level of camaraderie, even though you think you're slightly better than the other person anyway.
Yeah.
But and so obviously, you get all that influence and everything and what he loved.
Yeah.
And and it's really easy nowadays to be like, oh, he appropriated this. And I mean, there might be even an argument to it, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more of an argument against the power and systems at play at the time, more than just what the man did.
Yeah.
You could say he could have done more, and obviously everybody could have done more, right? I mean, not everyone was a Malcolm X or a King or whatever is that time period, or a Bobby Kennedy or whatever, right? But I do feel like because of what he did, I mean, a lot of that music blew up and became bigger, and now those are artists we can go back and we can appreciate for everything they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like they missed out on their time period, but
yeah, which sucks, and it's the shitty thing about history, and especially American history in general, right? That
all history.
yeah, that shit kind of happens, right? But I mean, at least now we can at least appreciate that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And even though the way things went about may have not been the most ideal, at least that influence was able to be pushed outwards.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I also did like in the beginning like him with all the comic book stuff, like him wanting to fly. And
That's fine.
I thought it was like nerd. It's interesting to see him grow up with that stuff.
Yeah, that would have been, what is that? Is that the Silver Age? Because that's that time period. I mean, Superman is big. Well, he mentioned Captain Marvel, or at least the OG, probably when it was still under DC too.
I'm gonna guess Shazam was probably the the big
because Captain Marvel became Shazam, if I remember
that is
correctly.
what it is. Yep.
Yeah, because when the property got sold over to the company that would become Marvel Comics,
Yep.
that character just became Shazam.
Yeah.
And then there became, if I remember correctly, and then there became some iterations until it is the Shazam we know today, which I think is different.
Yeah.
But I think that's where that came from, if I remember correctly. Might be wrong, but
I agree with you.
might be wrong.
I haven't read that far back into some of the Captain Marvel stuff.
I can't remember, because I remember there was a lot of that. There was a lot. Marvel picked up a lot of people that DC didn't want to continue anymore.
Yeah.
I think Captain America came through that way as well, if I remember correctly.
Damn, they should have stayed over there.
If I remember correctly, I think that's what his origins are. Okay. In DC, they kind of shoved him aside and they didn't do anything with him. And I don't even remember the company that became Marvel was like, "Yo, can we buy this character off of you?" And they did.
I got
and
$10.
They ran with it. But
any news on the
money? It's a fuck ton.
It's a fuck ton.
Non-specific. Well, they say that like Elvis made like $100 million through his whole career. And obviously he took 50% of every show, I guess, or everything.
Yeah.
And then even after he died, he kept still making 50% of everything. I was like, dude, this fucking guy's an asshole. And like made him re-record some masters for no reason, just to make money.
Just to re-release them, basically.
Yeah.
God.
No specific numbers though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shit ton.
It's a shit ton.
Royalty,
shit ton of money.
tons of money.
If you account for inflation, I'm fucked.
Fuck ton of money.
Imagine having $50 million and you just don't have, like, you just lose it all, either gambling or whatever the fucking asshole did.
Those fucking casino guys in Vegas, they raked it in, dude.
They
made money.
Well,
they made money off Elvis. They made money off this fucker. They made
drugs.
They fucking made bank. They collected.
It was a win-win for them.
What did the International become? Because it's obviously I don't think it's a hotel anymore, right?
No.
It's not a casino anymore.
MGM? I don't know.
No, because MGM was already a thing.
Yeah.
Even the movie, it talks about the Jackson 5 being at the MGM.
Fuck, what is that hotel? It's not the Venetian. Not Pioneer. I don't know what it would be.
Westgate.
It's Westgate.
Westgate, Las Vegas Resort and Casino. So that's what it became.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh, it's that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it before then.
I've walked through it for probably like 10 seconds.
Rate this movie.
And
why is it a 7?
I think it's higher.
I want to say an 8.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
But I like this type of movie.
I like the I also like the music from it.
I do appreciate just even the other references, even like the little things like that you throw in like Little Richard in there without you don't even have to mention his name. You know, BB King and all those people.
Little Dicky.
Yes, yeah, totally. And all those people from that time period.
Yeah,
it's just dope.
I think it's an 8 in my opinion.
7.
7.
Yeah,
it's I wouldn't watch it again.
I won't watch it again.
I wouldn't watch it
It's
again
too long.
No.
Nope.
You know what to watch again? Rocket Man. I'll watch that again.
Fuck yeah, movie's great.
I'll have to watch it.
Rocket Man's great.
I watched this.
I love that movie.
I probably should watch
as far as like
Rocket
biopics are concerned, that one's pretty top tier.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
Yep. Sweet. That's this one. That's Elvis. What'd you think?
Thanks for kicking our
Was it
rants.
horrible? Did you hate it? Do you hate biopics?
Do you hate Elvis?
Do you hate Elvis?
Do you like the other dude, Tom, whatever his name is?
Tom Parker?
Yeah, you like Tom
Did
Parker?
you also hate Tom Hanks' accent? The right answer is yes.
Tell us if you're right in the comments if you got that question right or wrong. See you next
We'll see you next time. Peace.